Thank you very much. Do you want to go walk around? You know, whatever. It's totally fine. Welcome back to A Case of the Gels. And before we get started, I have an announcement. I got my period again. Yay! It's been 5. Count them, 5 times in a row. Thank you very much. I'll just do that, just for me. It's okay. Sometimes when people email me and they ask me questions, one of the things they want to know a lot about is what happens when you actually gain weight. I wanted to know too. I would read people's accounts of going through this process of gaining weight in order to get a period back, and I felt as though they kind of glossed over the weight gain part. When I first started this journey, I read a description of this process by somebody else, and she said the more weight I gained, the more I didn't care how much weight I gained. And that actually, for me at the time, was terrifying. It meant to me, you're just gonna gain weight, and there's gonna be no stopping it. Or what she meant was that the weight that you gain is going to make you feel so good that whether or not you are 1, 2, or 10, 15 pounds heavier than you had been in the past, you are going to feel a sense of peace and happiness. And when I first heard this, it sounded like complete bullshit. It absolutely felt like, no, this is not possible. I don't even know what you're talking about. But I really mean this from the bottom of my heart, that if I knew at the beginning of this process how much better I was going to feel mentally and physically, I would have done this years ago. I would have. It is not a lie to say that once you begin the process, it's scary, but it's also not a lie to say that as you move through, you're going to find yourself in a better mental headspace. And a lot of that just comes with nourishment. A lot of that just comes with not stressing about nourishment. A lot of that just comes with having a body that feels happy and a body that is performing well, and your mindset is going to change. Of course, this experience is going to be different for everyone, and I'm sure that the way I went through it and maybe the way you will go through it is going to be completely different, but at least I can give you the straight facts on what happened to me. So this is so not easy. The gaining weight thing is about putting more calories in your body so that your body heals up, understands that it has enough calories, enough energy to produce hormones that are going to give you a period. And that is just a matter of picking up a fork and putting it into your mouth. But much more difficult than that is, okay, now I've started eating more. Now I've picked up the fork and I'm putting it in my mouth, and now I'm waking up and my jeans are getting tighter, and what the hell do I do? So this has to do with 2 really important factors. First, it has to do with how we see ourselves, and it also has to do with how we perceive others looking at us. Notice I didn't say how others actually view us, because I really don't think that's the point. I think it's about what we think other people view in us. How I used to view myself was tiny, little, skinny runner, someone who can float over roads and over trails, not getting injured because she's so light on her feet that it's not going to matter. I really thought that my value as a person was tied to this kind of view that other people had of me. I really enjoyed the fact that I could do something that nobody else could do. Ultramarathons are not common, and people who run them are seen to be different and superlative and maybe sometimes a little bit crazy. And my life wasn't, at the time, the kind of life that felt superlative. So when you can say you're an ultra runner and you can look like an ultra runner, whatever that means, or what is a better way to say it is, if you can look like what you think an ultra runner looks like, then you hang on to that. And I did. So I wanted to be it and look it and feel it. And I wanted people to view me that way, and I needed that. I have always been really critical of myself, and I don't think that I was really in a place of loving myself and loving the things about myself that didn't have to do with running and didn't have to do with creating this human form that I was comfortable with. I tied a lot of my self-esteem to looking a certain way and being a certain thing, and gaining weight meant for me at the time, even though it's not accurate, but it meant for me that I was going to be letting go of this thing that I had hung all of my self-esteem on, and that was a really hard thing to conceptualize. Of course, I also stuck the thing in my head that, you know, maybe my boyfriend was not going to be as attracted to me if I gained weight. I actually thought that if I gained weight or didn't look like a certain thing that I told myself that he was attracted to, that somehow I would lose his interest. The funny thing is I didn't even ask him about it. I just automatically assumed that that was going to be a thing. If I ask him now, of course he's like, no, I don't really care. I want you to be healthy. And I'm hopefully going to get him on a video to talk more about this, but it wasn't what he thought, it's what I thought he thought. Is this sounding a little bit ridiculous? Because it kind of is. Back when I started eating more and my body actually started changing, the weird thing is that first I was eating more calories, and in the first 2 or 3 days I actually lost weight. And I've heard people say this before. I don't think it's very uncommon. I'm not really sure what it's about. This is something to ask the experts, but there is something about kind of refeeding or kind of overeating or whatever you want to call it the first few days that kind of puts your body into this weird shock, or for me it did anyway, and I lost a few pounds and I was like, oh, this is going to be easy. This is no problem. That was very short-lived. I finally got to the point where I had to buy some clothes because my clothes were really uncomfortable. Once you start putting your new body or your newer body in old clothing, there is going to be a square peg round hole situation that isn't going to match up. It's very uncomfortable, and it's not an aesthetic thing. I'm not saying cover up your fat. No, that is not it. What I finally said to myself, and it was the reason and the motivation for me to go out and buy a new pair of jeans, is that, you know what? I'm awesome. My body is awesome, and I do not deserve to torture it into something that doesn't fit it. So I went out and shopped. At the time, I will admit, I was not enlightened about making ethical fashion choices, meaning I was not in this mindset where I am now, where I really want to buy clothing that is ethically sourced and ethically made. But at the time, it wasn't on my radar, I admit. So I went out and I bought a new pair of jeans, and I bought a new bra because I was popping out of mine and very uncomfortable. I brought new underwear because I felt like I was being strangled. I bought new pajamas because I wanted to be comfortable when I slept. Today, I would tell you to download the Poshmark app and shop Poshmark. Poshmark is an online store where you can buy gently used name brand items from everything from Chanel all the way down to Gap and everything in between. They have workout clothing, they have bras, they have coats and jeans and jackets and everything, and all of the clothing is previously used or previously purchased. The thing about it is that you're going to be paying a lot less for some really good things, and if your size is going to fluctuate, you might want a few different sizes. This is just a really great way to go. I'll put the link below for Poshmark, and if you're already a Poshmarker, give this video a thumbs up. Aren't they awesome? So now I'm larger, I have new clothes that fit me, I'm feeling more comfortable, but also noticing that there's a really different way that I feel that I am presenting myself to the world. And this is what I like to call the V-neck t-shirt era. It was about this time that I noticed that my regular crew neck t-shirts were looking a little odd on me. And for the first time since I could remember, I tried on a V-neck t-shirt. And all of a sudden this V-neck t-shirt kind of looked nice because I had something to fill it out. It's not all bad. Not every moment of the weight gain process was bad at all. In fact, there were some really shining moments, and that was one of them. One of the things that was really helpful for me too when I started to feel like a balloon human, which by the way I was not, it was good for me to take pictures of myself or have someone take pictures of me. I know this is the last thing that you want to do. Selfies are not on your list of things to do when you feel kind of like you're heavier, but I found it enormously helpful for me to get out of my own head, because a lot of this was about me being in my own head about what I looked like and what I felt like. It was really important for me to actually physically see that what I looked like was not what I was thinking. So I would take pictures of myself in a full-length mirror, or I would take just selfies of myself and just look at my face and look at my body and look at everything and realize that it was not at all what I had in my head. That was very helpful for me. Some of the other things that were sort of helpful for me at the beginning was that I learned about the BOPO girls, the body positive girls on Instagram, and there's some amazing, beautiful, incredible intelligent, strong. I can't think of enough adjectives to describe the women that are doing the good work of trying to change society's views of different body figures. And looking at their accounts and learning about them was really enlightening for me. It made me feel more informed. It made me feel more intelligent. It made me feel more sexy. I began to think of feminism in a completely different way. I began to think of my body and accepting my body in a very different way. Body Posy Panda, Do the Hot Pants, Nourish and Eat, and there are so many more. And I'll put links down to those girls below because they are, I hate to say this is such a millennial thing, but they're bomb. Those girls are bomb. There is something about feeding yourself well. There is something about taking care of your body and resting and eating good food and telling yourself that you're amazing that changes you. And I feel like I didn't think I was gonna get emotional, but I am. If you tell yourself these beautiful, positive things, and you feed yourself well, and you take care of yourself, you are unstoppable. And you are not going to be stopped by anything, not even yourself, not even your stupid perceptions of stuff that locks you into a narrow corridor of just misery. Don't let that happen to you. When you take care of yourself, when you feed yourself, when you do the right thing, you become something else. You can see the world differently. You can see yourself differently. I really didn't think I was going to cry today. But you know what it is? I got to know myself again. I got to see all of these sides of me that I had hidden inside for a really long time because I was afraid. I was afraid. I was so afraid. I'm not afraid anymore though. And I don't want you to be, because there's so much more out there. I have so many races to run, and so do you. We have miles to run, we have mountains to climb, we have so many things to do. I had to pull my head out of my ass and stop being a jerk and really just say enough. And I don't know, maybe some of you need to do that too, but I want you to know you're not alone. You're really not alone. So yes, go out and buy new jeans, go to a yoga class, go for a walk, hug your mother, say thank you for bringing me into this world, and take this life that you have and go be amazing. Let's go be amazing. Let's go eat a pizza. I mean, come on, right? I'm supposed to ask you to like this video and subscribe. I really hope that you do. I'm sorry for getting emotional, but this is life. Thanks for watching.